I actively work in a retirement home, so this shit cut deeper than I thought. That's right, y'all. Today we are talking about a brand new movie starring our homeboy, Saturday Night Live alum, Pete Davidson. Say what you want about him. Say the man gets too many baddies. Say the man ain't that sophisticated and funny. I happen to like him a lot, and let's just say that this new horror movie that is created by the man who brought us the entire Purge franchise itself, The Home, is actually way better than I depicted it to be, and I'm actually kind of excited to talk about it. I know it has a low rating on IMDb and all those fucking fancy-dancy film critic shit, but who cares what they think, dude? I'm just here for some good scares, some good times, and some high C from the theater, because I love high C. So let's do it. If this sounds interesting to you, let's talk about it. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Phantom of the Indie Review. I am your host. Don't go on that fourth floor, Dill. That's right. If you're a fan of this channel, you're realizing, yo, the layout's different. Your boy moved. He's on the come up. If you're casual to this channel and you're wondering why should you be here, it's because I'm funny, I'm charming, I know everything about every horror movie in the world. I'm an aficionado, some might say autistic. We're on the journey of 4,000 subscribers and we are 8 away. You could be one of the lucky 8, and guess what? When we get to 4,000, I'm gonna drop the craziest video you've ever seen. Come hang out with me and give me a shubby. I dropped my monster on the ground. I'm gonna keep it so for real with you, this is a spoiler review, but the movie follows a young delinquent man named Max, who is, like most protagonists in horror, grieving from a tragedy, but this one's a little bit different. He was a foster child who grew up in a loving home, and him and his foster brother, Luke, were thicker than blood. He has a giant tattoo across his chest that says that. And what are the odds, yo? Pete Davidson spent all these years getting his tattoos removed just to be typecasted into a role of a delinquent with full body tattoos. That is some fucking method acting we do not fucking give credit enough to, so good shit. After he's caught doing some vandalism, some downright debauchery, some diabolical shit, his foster dad's like, I talked to the judge, bro. You're on a bad path, you're gonna go to jail. He's like, I know your brother died, bro, but you gotta bounce back. And he's like, Dad, I can't, dude. Luke was my boy. And like, his family did not let Max go to the funeral when he was a child because they didn't think he could handle it, so he just didn't really have much closure. But the dad's like, yo, I talked to the judge and we got you on a 4-month community service at a retirement home, and this sends Max into a spiral. He's kind of upset. He's like, dude, I'd rather just go to jail, but okay, I'll do it. And this is where the movie kind of sets the tone, the pace, the ambiance, and let's just say the drive that leads him to this huge menacing manor of a retirement home is really cool. It's very murky and eerie, low light, and it provides a grand entrance that I dug quite a bit. I thought it was very fun. Scary looking, and he gets there and right off the rip, they're like, you see how clean this place was when you got here? Let's keep it that way, and whatever you do, don't go on the 4th floor. And it's just, when I saw the trailer of this movie, I was a little bit reluctant because in my mind, I was like, it's gonna be a comedy. It's gonna be one of those ones that's advertised as a horror and be more goofy, but let's just say that this movie is a little batshit crazy, but it's strict horror, and it's a strict mystery thriller, which I'm usually good at. Like I said, I'm a filmmaker at heart. I'm a writer, so I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but I can usually like debunk or unravel, decode a movie at a whim just watching it. And this movie generally left me guessing the whole time. I was like, where is this leading? What's gonna happen? And essentially, he gets close and develops bonds with these residents, because working in a retirement home, the one thing I love about this movie the most is the fact that the dialogue and screen time that is given to the residents, you really care for them, and it shows a lot of compassion and maturity and mentorship from these residents. Like, they drop some philosophical stuff, like this one dude is talking about if you don't die from sickness or old age, you die from boredom. And like, all these residents, they bring a lot to offer, and they're all distinct and unique, and they have like emotions to them, and Pete Davidson's character starts to attach to them. And working in a facility, I really find that endearing, because you do grow fond of these people. You look up to them, they tell you some crazy stuff, and yeah, at first look, surface level, they are just old people in a retirement home enjoying their golden years. But in this movie, I feel like each character individually was given the opportunity to shine. He becomes great friends with this old lady named Norma, beautiful, attractive lady. And she's like, you remind me of my son, he passed away. And as the movie progresses, we see through the eyes of Pete Davidson that things are not what they seem, and he's trying to figure out the mystery to it. Things really hit a hard turn when Norma mysteriously ends up dying in a brutal fashion. He's outside like doing some maintenance work, and all of a sudden she falls from the top floor and gets impaled by the fence. The welcoming fence that allows residents to move in, and it's a brutal death scene. You get a zoom in on her face. And this kind of is a catalyst, a kickstart to Pete Davidson's madness. And I will say a few flaws I have is he's not the best actor. I feel like he really genuinely tried, but some of the delivery was flat. And then also how belligerent he was about this. Like usually in movies they're like sneaky and snooping around, like trying to do detective work. He's not subtle at all. There's one scene where he's like fucking unboxing cameras. He got cameras from Amazon. He's just like casually setting them up everywhere. It's like, I guess it's more realistic than it is like espionage, but it was just funny. But all around, I found this movie to be very disturbing. And by that, I mean we are going to get into the main point of the movie. What Pete Davidson is at this retirement home. What makes him feel like he needs to save these residents? Well, A, he grows close to them, and B, some things are not what they seem. He can't sleep at night. He's having crazy nightmares about his brother, about weird shit. He sees the residents, the back of their necks hurt all the time. And one night, he shuts off his light, and through I don't remember specifically how, actually, something like a black light goes over and it says like find the marked ones, and he decides to take it upon himself to go to each resident, look at the back of their neck, and they have an X on it. And some of the residents are off-putting, they're weird, they're mysterious, but they start to grow on Max as well. The care staff does not fuck with Max at all. They're really belligerent, rude, they're kind of like belittling him. You can tell by their demeanor. Like there are times where like they're not super villain-ish, like there's a subtlety in their acting where you're like, I could misread this as them being weird, but then they bounce back to being normal, which I found really realistic. This movie was super realistic as a whole. It wasn't too fantastical until we get to the end. And essentially, Max is trying to find out what is the commotion that is happening. Is this shit blurry? I don't know. It all unfolds when his homeboy, I want to say his name was Lewis, the thespian, the artist, the kind of the lead vocal point of the community, he's having a hard time with the passing of Norma, and he starts spiraling and start like ripping out his teeth, gluttonously eating, and like he's unraveling. He's like, okay, now Norma died, and now my other homeboy is on the fritz. And he at the end of the day, there's a saying throughout the movie where it's used good by Norma, and then later on maliciously, it's a heart knows a heart. And essentially, like, a good person can see the true colors and emotions. It's very empathetic of a situation around them. And at the end of the day, Pete Davidson is just a lost cause, but he really cares, and he loves the people he's working with, and he genuinely wants to make a difference because he couldn't save his brother Luke. So, like, yeah, he's a little mischievous delinquent on the side, but he's more deeper and fulfilled than that, and I appreciated that. We find out that from the main doctor, the dude leading the rally, he's just experimenting and doing crazy shit. Like there's some articles, it's like privileged doctor does some psychotherapy on old folks, and all of a sudden backlash occurred, and like something is wrong, and he's just trying to piece it together. There's a side note where he keeps getting these weird cryptic virtual messages from some lady, and it all accumulates. He eventually goes up to the 4th floor, and there's a bunch of crazy old decrepit mutations of people up there, and they're just like picking at their skin, rotting away, and this one takes a fancy to him, and in the middle of the night comes to his room and attacks his room, and he gets knocked out. And then in the morning they take him in and they do a crazy procedure on him, and he wakes up, the back of his neck hurts, he's feeling a little loopy, and he's like, shit guys, like they got me. So what he does is escape, and he goes back to his parents' house, and in his parents' house he realizes that they might know more about this retirement home than they are letting on. And then that's where you start to piece it together. You're like, how fantastical is this? What are the odds like that his parents know? Like, are they in on it too? Is he just being kind of like, it has that psychological thriller, is he being kind of like paranoid? And it all accumulates when he finds this little room in his parents' house that dates back years and years and years of them being founding members and advocates and almost volunteers for this retirement home. And the part I appreciated the most is he's going through these old yearbooks, celebration books of like memories and history, all the staff and residents that he knows from the retirement home hanging out in a group photo with his parents. And in each picture there's a poor young person in a wheelchair just kind of zoned out, like, and he gets to 2009 and he sees one of his brother, and then it clicks. He's like, they're doing weird stuff to these people, and my brother was a victim. And then it hits him, plot twist. The old dude upstairs that's been tormenting him all movie, when he goes to the 4th floor and breaks into his room, that wasn't just some crazy dude that didn't like him. That was his brother all along. And he finds out that his brother is now like a 90-year-old man, and he's smiling, and it's humble and it's beautiful. They have a reconnection, you feel for it. And then the bad guys prevail and they get Pete Davidson, and then there's a whole expo dump of essentially there is this almighty god named Dia that they extract the youth from all these people through their eyeballs, and it allows them to live longer, party, prosper, have sex, and they're animals. There are some trippy, chaotic, hallucinatory vibes to it where they're all like, we fuck and we party and we chill, and it's kind of satire, it's kind of a meme, but it's just more bizarre that it is funny, and it's very eerie and creepy. And essentially they get Pete Davidson and they drain him, but they don't drain him fully. And this is where I gotta say it has probably one of the best kill scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and I'm so glad they went this far. Usually in movies they suggest they're gonna do something crazy, or they cut the camera off too soon, or they just don't fulfill the promise. But there is a scene where when Pete Davidson bounced back and he's gonna get revenge on the people, he grabs an axe, comes down the elevator, and straight up starts fucking slaughtering the entire community, like the entire facility of residents. He's just going down swinging, gutting them. Like it's like a fucking John Wick movie, but he's killing elderly people. And like you hear one part, they're like, Max is killing us all, run. And like the dude, his main homie Lewis or whatever his name was, is in the closet. He's like, please Dia, save me, save me, save me. And then he takes him hostage. And let's just say, as the whole movie's progressing, a hurricane's coming and the hurricane hits, and like as he's slaughtering this retirement home, there's a storm's ripping off the roof. Like it's just a crazy tense atmospheric vibe. And let's just say no prisoners are held. Like he kills everyone in that facility dies, and then he frees all the patients that were being held upstairs, having their youth drained upstairs, and he walks outside with his arm around his brother's shoulder, and it is a happy ending. And all in all, guys, I found this movie to be very fascinating, very riveting, very provocative, whatever adjective you want to use. Like it was pretty scary at times. There was one point I was watching it in theaters with my friend, and she was like, yo, this movie's kind of boring, and then all of a sudden it hit. It doesn't quite drag. It tells a great story. It's very fleshed out like a novel. I love movies that are very novel-esque, where they tell a great story. It has that supernatural aspect of the goddess Dia. It has the mystery shrouded in the retirement home, something that isn't quite what it seems, and you can't quite depict what it's going to be. Is it realistic? Is it fantasy? The residents are all distinct and great actors and good character works. Pete Davidson, you really care about him because like he plays the good part of, you know, he is the voice of the audience, so like he kind of is like non-serious at times and kind of casual and kind of withdrawn from reality until he's dragged in and like sympathetic. And all around I feel like this movie was just a wild ride, so I don't know why it has such bad hate on it, because I thought it was pretty good. But alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Have you seen this movie? Comment down below. Please subscribe, give me a thumb, or hit that ding-a-ling button harassing you, telling you, hey, it's me, I'm here. And I'm gonna say it one time for the one time and two time for the O's. Give me a hell yeah for horror.
I'm to play by the rules. What's going on?
Of her own. Sadly, she was unable to be happy with her looks, seeing imperfections others didn't, and constantly trying to improve her appearance through surgery. After a